Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Golden Hour Drip podcast. I'm your host, Logan Lee Miller, and happy Friday. Oh my gosh. Or honestly, whenever you're listening to this, happy Friday for me. Okay? Like I am thriving. It is Friday. It is the weekend. It is all the excitement things. And with the weekend, do you think, okay, like we're gonna have fun, we're gonna cut loose, we're gonna do whatever we want, right? Like, I love it. I love it for you. I love it for me. The weekend usually means a time to have fun, not think about work, do anything that we want to do, and like it's our time. Saturday and Sunday, those are times to be feral, or to get some sleep, or to catch up on housework, or to have fun with friends, right? Like to go out, have some fun with your friends. And I did something this week that I normally don't do. And that is go out on a Wednesday night. A Wednesday. Even in college, like we would go out on Thursdays, not Wednesdays, right? Like that's weird. But to go out in a group gathering on a Wednesday is unheard of, especially for me, especially because like I love my sleep. I am a homebody. I love to be at home. I like to have my routines. I like to have my things. I like to have everything that just makes me feel safe, protected, and peaceful. I love it, okay? Those are the things that make me happy. Those are the things that really just are my favorite things. So for me to go not only out, but an hour away out, right? Like we had a Kansas City meetup for Let's Be Friends, Kansas City. Sydney Morehouse puts us on. It's so great. She is truly, truly inspiring. We're going to have her on the podcast very soon. But Sydney is she organizes this events and it's very awe-inspiring, right? She gets a bunch of gals together and we do something. And here I am on a Wednesday night in Kansas City, out and about. And I had a beer. And one of my good friends, Madison, came with me. And there's a gaggle of girls. We are just roaming around. We got laser hair removal on your underarms if you wanted it. You were able to get like free eyes done, like if you wanted some eyelashes on, they would put some eyelashes. If you wanted a hairstyle, it all came with your ticket. It was like $25, so affordable. And here we are just like hanging out. And if you've ever been in Kansas City, there's the Power and Light District. And so it is a bunch of bars. Sometimes they have like concerts and whatnot. But here we are just roaming around, having a good time. Stayed up pretty late, like 10, 11 o'clock. That is late for me. I like to get up early. I like to get my day moving. And so to be up that late at night, like plus it's an hour drive there, an hour drive back, which Madison did drive, so grateful, and it felt like no time at all because we were talking, we were gossiping, we were doing all the things. But like it was just different for me, right? Like I normally don't do that. I barely go out on Friday. I barely go out on Saturday. And it's not even whether or not I drink or don't drink. Sometimes it's literally just the lack of sleep or the event or having to get ready or having to pick out an outfit, which my outfit was very, very cute. I got this little top. It was so like summer. It was just summer for sure. But you know, like it's a lot of work. I knew that if I went, I would have a good time, right? Like I would have fun. I would enjoy it. I laughed a lot. I met some really, really great girls. But I've had a problem in the past, and I want to say it's due to like my want to be the best, right? Maybe you can relate to this, but I want to continuously work on myself. I want to improve. I want to be the best, right? Like I want to be top tier, top shelf, right? So I've had a problem in the past with having friends that had similar passions to me or a similar drive to me, which you would think would be the opposite, right? Like you would think that I would want to surround myself with individuals who are like chasing after the same things as me. And I would say present day Logan definitely loves to have people who are smarter than her, more successful than her. Like I love that, right? Like I want to surround myself with people who are smarter than me and who can do all these amazing things. But I wasn't always like this. Like if I think back to a younger version of myself, say in high school, I was not as confident in myself and not as confident in like my sense of self, if that makes sense. So I literally would compare myself to other girls who were more successful or who seemed like they had everything going on. You know, they were essentially perfect, right? Or they had something that I myself was working on or working towards. And I was like, man, like if only I want that, right? And I would separate myself from these people because I didn't want them to think that I was copying them. I didn't want them to think that I wanted to be like them. I wanted to have an original thought, even though sometimes it wasn't original because I had literally seen it, right? There's not many original thoughts in this world. We can see something and it can be our subconscious or it can be our conscious mind, and we see something and we think, oh my gosh, like I want to emulate that, or I like that too, or how can I get that for myself? And there was a time in my life, and definitely in high school and even some in college, where I felt lesser and I felt threatened and I felt like I couldn't be collaborative because I wanted what they had and I didn't want them to like think that I was copying them. And then it was also a sense of pride, right? Like I was like, no, like too prideful, like we cannot be friends because we want the same thing, right? And so growing into who I am now and going into my adulthood, I realized that this is not the right mindset to have. And it was very humbling, to say the least, because it was my ego getting in the way. My ego said, if you have any sort of competition or threat, like you've got to eliminate them out of your life, because if anybody sees your association to them, they're gonna compare you and they're gonna think, oh, like Logan isn't as cool or good because like her friend is like better because she had reached another level of her confidence or herself or anything like that. And so I would immediately want to remove myself from the situation so that I could come up with it by myself. I could do it. There wouldn't be the comparison. And it was this sense of ego, like I don't want to. It's very selfish too. I didn't want to support them because I felt like it took away from me, and that is simply not the case. And even now, like I cringe to talk about it because it's a hard thing to admit that you didn't want to be, you wanted to be the best and you didn't want anybody else to be better than you, right? And I think that is not that's like you were taught that. Like I feel like I was taught that from magazines or movies or things like that, because when you're a kid, like you want to help everyone, you want to be everyone's friend, you want to lift people up, and then there's kind of this disconnect in a Mean Girl era. I mean, there's literally a movie called Mean Girls, which is iconic, and there's definitely like, I love that movie, I'll never not love that movie, but the message of Mean Girls is literally pitting people against each other to be the best or to be the prettiest, the hottest, the number one. And like this whole mindset is just, it's destructive to community, right? And as I've grown and developed and had a conscious mind, right? Like my brain, I'm 25 now, like my brain is finally to the point of like it's been developing, okay? Like it's been getting there. I would definitely say like it's been transformative, like 21, like 20, 21, 22, like just thinking about these things of other people are not your competition. Girls in your peer group or at work or whatever, like they are not your competition. We are not meant to do things by ourselves. We are not meant to be alone, right? Like women love to be around people. We like to talk. We like to collaborate. We like to laugh. We like to do all these things. And when you have the negative side of like healthy competition, it's like, all right, we can't be friends because I want the same thing you want, or I want to like go for this promotion, date this boy. We all know the things deep down where we've had that situation where we thought, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to be her friend. I can't be her ally. I cannot support her because she wants the same thing I want. And it starts to be like a venomous situation. So when I kind of pivoted and thought to myself, oh my gosh, like we have it all wrong. We're meant to be collaborative. We're meant to push each other. We're meant to have community because that is the essence of the human experience. That is that's what life is all about, is to connect with others and to be inspired and grow into ourselves. And I definitely know like there's been times where I thought, oh, like they're doing something that I want to do. I don't want the competition. I don't want to be compared. And I want to just have like this original thought of, oh my gosh, I did this myself. But the journey is so much better when you can set your ego aside and you can be like, oh my gosh, like you were inspiring and you helped me achieve this. This past week, there's a girl that I follow on social media. She's local. I think we went to the same college, but all I can see is like coconut. It's not that, but she is a fitness coach, and she just went through her first bodybuilding competition, and she is now offering coaching for other bodybuilders. And she made this post and she was like, hey, coaches are so important. I am a coach, because she was doing other coaching stuff before, but she was like, I am a coach and I have a coach. You should have a coach in whatever you do, right? That post honestly was so like, it unlocked something in my brain, because I always want to do everything myself. I want to work my way up. I want to be the only person who has the keys to my success. Like I did it. It was all me. But it's really not all me. I have so many people in my life who support me, who love me. I mean, you right now listening or watching this podcast, like you're supporting me. I couldn't do this without you. So to think that you're so independent and you did everything yourself is honestly like a little egomaniac. Like it's a little unsettling. Like nowhere in our life were we ever completely, like we cannot do it by ourselves. You have some sort of support system. Even when it feels like you don't, you have people that you may not even realize are looking out for you and are setting the pieces up, that your stepping stones, whatever, to help you be successful in life. And as I was like looking at her post, I was like, oh my gosh, like she just achieved something so great. She won the competition and she was humble enough to say, you know what, like, yes, I was the person who made sure I was getting my workouts in, who was eating the food, who was doing all the things, but I had a coach to help me, to teach me, and to like help me navigate the journey. She's like, I'm also a coach, but I still need a coach myself. And that just goes to show, like, she could have been very egotistic and been like, I did this all myself, like a self-coach. Some people do self-coach, but it was just so inspiring that she was like, you know what, I had help on this journey. I had help to achieve what I wanted to like accomplish, And yes, I put the hard work in, but you need a community. You need support. You need people who are cheering after you and who are like helping you along. And I think to myself, there's times where I just wanted to be number one. I wanted to go up there and say, you know what, I did this. I succeeded because of my own sure will. In reality, you have people who help you. In reality, you have inspiration. And we are so much stronger together when we can support one another, when we can bounce ideas off one another, where we can just like brainstorm and collaborate and laugh and smile. And you never know why someone was put in your life. It could be for a very specific reason. And if you are ignoring it because you want to do it yourself or be on your own path, like you are missing out on one of the greatest things that could ever happen to you. So here we're at this Let's Be Friends KC, and personally, like I want to throw events. I love events. When I was in Sigma Kappa, my sorority, like I was sisterhood chairman, and it was honestly my favorite thing. It was so much fun to plan like a little gathering month to month. And I could think to myself, you know what, Sydney is doing this and I want to do something similar, but I'm not going to support Sydney because then it seems like I just took her idea. Instead, it's like a collaborative thing where you bounce ideas off one another, and nobody, honestly, everything has been done, but nobody has done it how you can do it, right? Like washing cars. Like, do you think that a person who wanted to open a car wash was like, oh, like there's other car washes? No, they open their car wash because nobody can do it like they can do it. Nobody can have the system or the special soap. Like nobody can do it how you can do it. So why wouldn't you take the help? Why wouldn't you be collaborative? Why wouldn't you like experience what other people have to offer and really enjoy life? It's because you're letting your ego get in the way and you're not wanting to be supportive because you feel like it's going to take something away from you. But I promise, tearing someone down or not supporting them, as I've found out myself going through my own mistakes, is not going to make you any more successful. It is not going to make you any closer to your goal or your dream than you were before. And so why wouldn't you support someone else? You know that when someone has supported something that you've done, you feel on top of the world. You think, oh my gosh, they actually care. Oh my gosh, like how awesome is this? Like it's much more fun when we can be collaborative and take a little bit from everybody around us. That's what community is for. That is what friends, family, and peers, everyone, that social media, it's meant to be collaborative. It is meant to be a community, and you can either be a mean girl or you can be a girl's girl. And you know what? I want to be a girl's girl. And it has taken me a while to figure it out, but I'm glad that I started to check my ego. And I really think that the pandemic and like just living life and letting my brain develop and also just being more confident in my own self and not being insecure, because when you don't want to support other people, it's because you're feeling insecure. And one of the things that I have been doing is when I feel a twinge of self-doubt in myself where I immediately like have a hateful thought, don't listen. We all have those thoughts, right? Like we all have those like, oh, like little Miss Perfect over there, like doing everything she can, like to make me look bad. Like if I even have like a slight second thought like that, I support them like even more than I would have. Like 4 months ago, I had this thought where I was like, oh, like how annoying. And then I was like, you can't do that. That's bad. Like that is bad. When you like have that negative energy, then you're not able to like be open to other things. So as soon as I was like, I've got to do something like in a positive, like give a shout out or buy their product or whatever it is. Like if I ever have that, I try to show my support in some sort of way, because I truly believe like if you are a positive individual, more positive things will come to you. And it's also just, it's good to be a good person. So that's a pro tip. If you are trying really, really hard to like someone you don't like, or you're feeling insecure about something that you've done, like it's much easier to just support them. But if you like are having troubles, like make it a punishment. Like if you've had a bad thought, now you have to double down. Now you have to support them even bigger than like if you were just a regular person. So that is honestly like just something that I've kind of been working through, and really came to the realization that I rather be a girl's girl. I rather support other individuals, and I do not want to be so closed off or so closed-minded because someone else did it. Nobody can do it how you can do it. And also, healthy competition is good. Building each other up is good. It's when you let your ego get in the way, and when you tear other people down, or you trash talk what they've done. Like that's not it. So I hope that this has inspired you to be friendly, to support other people who might be in the same realm of business or life that you are in, and realize that the competition is not with other people. It's with yourself, and it's with building upon the past version of yourself and beating her every single day. So I hope that you've enjoyed this Fast Friday. Share it with a friend who might need it, and until next time, bye.